Welcome on in. We're here off the edge with me, your host, Cam Jordan. Man, I'm excited because anytime I get to bring on a Cal grad, I get excited. It's always Go Bears. But recording from the NFL media studio in Los Angeles, when I think about, Justin Richmond, again, Go Bears, where he got his bachelor's and graduate degree from, a self-proclaimed music nerd. But more importantly, on the iHeart podcast, he's got a broken record. A music podcast he started with the best-selling author, Malcolm Gladwell, and music legend, Rick Rubin.
Hey.
Appreciate you coming in.
I'm happy to be here, man.
Nice to have a podcaster to a pseudo-podcaster. I'm the pseudo, by the way.
You're the pseudo?
Yeah, I'm the pseudo.
You're a saint, so I was happy to be here with you, man. Come on now.
Look, I heard you're a Detroit Lions fan as well as, a Saints fan.
Yeah.
Because you got connections to both.
Got connection. I mean, when I was young, we still had the Raiders here in LA. So I was a Raider fan. Raiders left. I felt I was in the wilderness, man. So I kind of looked toward, we would call back home to family. I had family in Louisiana, family in Michigan, in Detroit. So we'd call back home on holidays and everyone would be rooting. Everyone's watching football. Everyone's rooting for the Saints, the Lions.
Right.
And I was like, I don't got no one. So I started going Saints, Lions too. And so that's kind of, while we were in the NFL wilderness here for the last however long, 25 years, I became a Saints and a Lions fan. And, now I don't even got it in me to root for the Rams or the Chargers. I just.
Sort of just fell out the love.
Yeah.
So
right.
still a Saints Lions fan.
Still.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I call Detroit Saints North.
Do you?
Dan Campbell up there.
Fair enough.
They had Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Alex Anzalone, my guy AG until Aaron Glenn until he went over to the Jets. They had like four of our coaches, four of our different four players. I'm just like, right. Marcus Davenport up there. And I'm just like, come on, man. I was like, all right, Saints North.
I didn't think about that. That is Saints North, though. That's beautiful. There is a connect. There's just like those two towns, man. The cities themselves too. They just feel very, connected in certain ways.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit 15 years ago was scary, and now Detroit, it's nice. Like people are actually moving to Detroit.
People going to the city, back to the city. Finally, everyone's trying to get back to the city.
There was a time where they were trying to give away houses for like $5,000. I was like, dang, I should have bought me one of them things.
They was trying to give away houses cheaper than that.
Man, just it is what it is.
Yeah.
But a brother like you, your height, you talk about football. We know you're a basketball guy. The athletic background.
Yeah, well,
Hooper.
Yeah.
When you're this tall, when you're in that 6'4" to 6'6" range, everybody's like, "Oh, you play basketball, right?"
That's right. And yeah, I do. But see, the problem was, when you growing up like in the '90s, and it's Michael Jordan,
yeah,
and that was it. But I was always the tallest kid, so even though I'm a guard height now, like there was like the center.
Yeah.
And this wasn't like when the centers could have fun. This was like it's mic and drills like hour after hour. And you're like, I think I'm good.
You didn't want to be Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, one of the Wallaces.
I would have, but then, really too, especially like if now like I look at like a Draymond Green, like I'm like, oh man, if I'd had that as a model, I maybe would have done that. I started thinking about myself as like maybe a defensive specialist.
Zebo, Zach Randolph back in the gap.
Zach Randolph, even Rodman.
Yeah.
Let me just go rebound. Let me just go do something other than just stand under the block. You know what I mean? Stand on but yeah, so I hooped, but and then but yeah, so that's the extent of my athletic background. I didn't take it too far, but my dad got drafted to the NFL. My brother, he played overseas, Europe and also Australia, and so my family is athletic family.
Yeah, absolutely.
I went the artistic route.
There's somebody told me there was a rumor about you, like you didn't get you didn't get a high school diploma, but you got a master's.
Nah, I didn't get no high school diploma. Nah.
How does that happen? Don't you have to have a GED to send it to a college to get into the? Isn't that how that works? Did you get a GED?
I thought. No, I don't have a GED. I don't have any. I got like an 8th grade diploma, and then whatever. Like I ended up going to community college, got an AA, and then just transferred, got my bachelor's, then couldn't get a job, so I went and got a master's before I could finally get a job. So that was man.
Just my whole childhood just seems like a lie. Like you told me I technically didn't have to go to school.
I'll say I didn't know that when I left high school. I wasn't it wasn't some master plan, but I left, spent like a year in the wilderness, and then I was like, I gotta figure something out. Like I gotta get my life together. And then
Then JUCO was calling your
And
name.
JUCO was it was calling, and so I was like, oh, let me just go pop in and do that. Yeah, only had to be, you either had to have like 2 years of high school under your belt to get into junior college, or be like 16. But I think I just fudged some paper. I was 15 and a half, so
I got 2 years. I was like, I'm in my second year now.
Yeah, exactly right. So I just said, oh, born in 88, went right in.
Born in 88. And you're an 89 guy.
I'm an 89 guy.
Yeah, you are.
Yep.
Hey, right. That's me right there. Hits
right.
me all up in the heart right there. I'm like 89er. 90s kids like to pull us into their bracket. They're like, no, you're really a 90s kid. Don't do that. You weirdos stay right there in the 90s.
That's
right.
That's right, man.
I'm like, no. I'm an 80s baby, and I'm gonna hold on to my millennial, Gen Y, whatever we are.
We're a great generation, man.
Boom.
We're a great generation.
I hold it down.
Every time I start to feel old too, I just think I'm like, all right, at least we got. I'm not like, well. Every time I start to feel old, and I got kids, and they start to make me feel bad. But I'm like, don't you know, like Taylor Swift, 1989. I'm born the same year as Taylor Swift. I can't be old.
And then they switch up on you. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, I'm never going to use her as my reference point, but I'm not in my household.
Look, I'll say that's the only time I'm using her as a reference.
Yeah, 3 girls because I know the moment I introduce her to it, it's probably going to be over for me.
I tried. I really tried to indoctrinate them, be more Beyonce. Yeah. There was a second that I was trying to even turn them on to Rihanna. My wife put an end to that. She was like, too young for all that.
No. Okay.
It was too much.
Everybody got to work,
too
man.
much too soon.
Okay. Who's your all-time NFL or favorite NFL player?
Ooh.
Yeah,
man. Okay. Like coming, I would say like coming up, like Marcus Allen.
Okay.
Love Marcus Allen. I got to hang with Jim Brown a handful of times when I was younger, and so I never got to see him play or anything, but hanging out with him and like that was like insane, and so. And he's an all-time great. So, I mean, he's up there too. Just talking about the history of the league there.
So you're a running back guy. That's what I'm catching out.
Yeah. I think, like, look, I would have loved to have been a running back.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been a running back, man.
They didn't have Brandon Jacobs back then. Like 6'5" out there toting that tater.
Yeah.
And they didn't have Derrick Henry.
No, man. No. But that's what I'm saying. I was born at this weird age, man, or this weird. But you figured it out. I just didn't have the vision, man. I didn't have the vision to figure out what I could be or not be.
Who you tell? I want to be a point. Like I want to be point guard. AI was my guy.
Oh man.
And then I was like a little portly fellow. So then.
Did you play ball?
Yeah, I mean, junior high point guard, 5'7", 5'8". 200-pound point guard, like just bowling down there. Looked like Mario Chalmers in his
I feel like Felton, Raymond Felton.
There we go. I was like, my bad, Mario. I didn't mean to put that on you. Raymond Felton over at New York Knicks.
Yeah.
High school, I entered high school like 6'1", so things switched up, and all of a sudden I was more towards a 6'3" by sophomore year, so post player, and I was like, you know what? And I was coming off the bench. I was like, you know what? I'm starting football. I was like, I'm the varsity track. I'm doing really well in all these other areas. I don't need basketball. Like, it's fine. I was like, I'm just blaming it on politics. That's why I'm not starting. Whatever. So I switched up there. But you talk about just you said Marcus Allen, Jim Brown. You met Jim Brown. How does that even happen? Jim Brown, legendary.
Jim Brown,
actor. I mean, rest in peace. But
yeah. I mean, he was a like legendary football player, actor.
You grew up like we did. I was like, technically, all I know him from the blaxploitation area.
That's exactly right, man.
I was like, I don't know him as a running back. He was a running back. Him?
No, that blew my mind. Because
I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. Because I remember literally being in a conversation with him. And then someone's being like, yeah, hey, that's Jim Brown. That's Jim Brown. I go, yeah, okay, cool, from TV, whatever, right? They go, no. The NFL legend, Jim. I go, some old head trying to, I'm like, okay, all right. But then I looked it up later, I'm like, oh, wow, like, damn, you know what I mean? Or I don't know if I can.
Yeah, of course you can.
Podcast.
You're a grown ass man. Yeah.
They're like, damn, like, oh, wait, wow, Jim Brown. So then got to meet him a handful more times. He just, I met him through, one of my mom's friends happened to know him. And just like, so he came around, man. I had breakfast with him like a bunch of times, and he was cool, man. He was. Your
amazing. Pops and him played in the same era ish.
No, my dad got drafted in '84.
Okay.
So
your dad played in my dad's era. Yeah. My dad got drafted in '82. So
yeah. So not quite. I won't put that on him.
My bad, pops.
Yeah.
Man, all right. So you go from wrote AA to a BA to a master's. What made you go to Cal?
What made me go to Cal?
The University of California, Berkeley, #1 public school in the nation. Shout out.
100%. Like I didn't think I'd get accepted to I mean, you know what I mean? Like Cal's like legendary.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you think about sports, you think about just the history of education too, like all of that, like from every angle. So, you know, when I got accepted, I didn't even know I get accepted. Like I almost wasn't even gonna apply. But
what year did you get accepted?
I got accepted in 2000. I entered 2010 or 11.
Okay.
So, and you know, I wasn't even gonna apply, but you know, when I was going down the list, you can just tick whatever the box. I was like, well, I might as well tick the box. Like, let's see what's up, you know. And then I did have to do like an extra. I think I had to do an extra essay maybe for that one. I was like, what is it gonna do? Well, I'll just spend a night doing an extra essay, just, you know, see what happens. And when I remember when that came back, because you know, again, like, you know, like my family is for the most part, like my family is another story, man. Like, I don't even know how to explain them, but like everyone's just on the margins of society in my family. So when I got accepted, I was like, this got to be a mistake. I remember I drove, like I was really like, because I'm like you, I'm like, I don't gotta. So I was like, let me drive. So I remember I wrote the counselor back. I said, listen, I'm so very happy to have been admitted. Can you meet? And she's like, okay, like come this day. So I remember I drove up. I dragged my girlfriend with me. We drove up. And I remember walking in and be like, listen, here's the deal. Like, I didn't graduate. Like, I don't got nothing. Like, I don't know what you think. I don't know who you think you accept, but let me just lay it. Like,
let me just show you who I am.
Like, yeah, you're fine. You're good. I go, really? So I can show up this day, start class, go through, graduate, walk. I'm good. She said, you're good. You're fine. I go,
I'm so glad to be here. Yeah, so glad to be here.
I'll never forget that. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that was an amazing experience. Man.
You was in such disbelief you had to go meet. This might be a scam. Do I have to send $1,000 and you'll send me $100,000 in 6 months? You know what? Let me just meet in person.
Look, man, you know, I'm colleges. I'm not about to pay for all this, and then you know, what I mean, they're like, hey, we didn't know, you know. So I had to drive up get that confirmation, man. Yeah, and you know, it's funny because like even though Cal is like, you know, it's Cal, but I'm an LA guy, so I just wanted to stay. I wanted to go UCLA, and they didn't accept me. So I appealed it, all that. I never got in, but it was really the best thing that could happen for me was to go up there, man. And
you was at Lower Sproul kicking it.
That's right.
You know,
that's right, man.
I left in 2000. What was it 10 technically?
Is that when you left?
Yeah, about December.
Right before.
Man, it was good. That was a good time. You know,
I miss it, man. I miss it.
Good frat parties, just good vibes. Cleveland's not like the party school, but again, you're next to a lot. You're next to Oakland. You're next to Richmond. You're next to Hayward, San Francisco.
Yeah.
You got plenty of cities to extract.
Totally. But the funny thing is like how like I didn't really realize like the train, like BART doesn't run late. So I mean, I'd get stranded out in San Francisco. You know what I mean? You'd be trying to like, I'm gonna get back by 11:30, 12 to hit the train. Like, nah. Trying to like, get money to get the cab to get back. You got to pay the fare too. The cab's back from the city.
Absolutely. But I mean, BART starts early enough, you know?
So you just keep it going.
Yeah, you just keep it going.
Okay.
You keep it going, catch that 5 o'clock back.
Yeah. But San Francisco, it gets a little, you know, after hours. It's a little scary, man.
Yeah, you know, I was a bouncer out there for a number of years.
Were you?
Yeah.
Where at?
I couldn't even tell you the clubs. It might have been Cellar back in the day. I was going to Pinning Points.
Wow.
You know, young Cam was a man on a mission. Yeah. And so somewhere in there I had to be reeled back in.
I should have done that.
You know, I became a student peer advisor for a couple of years. I was a bouncer over in the Cal area, Oakland, you know, San Francisco, wherever there. I was looking at rates. I was like, what are they? All right, 20 an hour now, 27
Oakland,
an hour.
You really charge, man. Oakland,
San Francisco now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
You know they out there paying cash too.
That's
right. It's probably why the security that we were part of, like all the older guys put you on. And once, like I think in my senior year, I think it folded because they realized that guys were just making straight cash instead of. I was like, oh, this wasn't like, oh, you have to pay taxes on.
We were the last era, I feel like, where you could get away with getting paid cash for something. Like I remember my first job too was like you just get like I get $150 at the end of the night. And like, this is like I'm rich. Like you don't gotta tell me nothing.
They don't have to tell me nothing.
$150.
Yeah, 27 an hour cash.
Y'all leave me tomorrow.
Six hour minimum. I'm gonna work 8. Oh yeah. I need that.
Yeah. Cash was something else. But I don't think you can get away with that like that.
No
one really does cash. Like even when you go to New York used to be owned like not telling me that long ago. You go to New York, you couldn't pay with card most
Couple
places.
bodegas, you could only have cash.
That's right. Now it's like anywhere you can play card now.
Yeah, Venmo, Cash App. You ain't got
They
no
take
excuse
crypto
not to
now,
have.
man.
Yeah, like,
It's like, they take
golly.
Bitcoin. Huh?
Oh, well,
great.
you know. So you got your bachelor's in philosophy and a master's degree in journalism.
Yeah.
Journalism brought you to the podcast world? How did that?
Journalism did, yeah, man. Journalism did. I started out like a music guy. Like I just grew up like on music, man. I loved music. Like I said, my family from Detroit and Louisiana, so like Motown and the South. With that, like, so my whole family just loves music. I grew up around it. That was my real interest. And then when I went up to college, I drifted away from music just because I just felt like I had to go try to go make something of myself, I guess. You know what I mean? So when I got into college, I was like, and I started doing music. I started doing journalism. I realized like I realized, I'm good at that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, I can just merge my two worlds. I'm good at journalism. I can do that. I love music. I can bring that in. And so
majored in philosophy. So we're here for, the euphoric feelings of, hey, is time linear?
Let me tell you, I majored in philosophy, which was a calculated mistake, or not so calculated. I didn't know. I wasn't thinking that one through. You know what I'm saying? Because I graduated, I couldn't get a job, man. And so the first thing that came through, I took a journalism course my last semester of undergrad. And the teacher was like, hey, this is pretty, like the last piece I wrote, this is pretty good. Like you should sell this to like the local paper, the East Bay Express. She had a connection, so she sent it in. I didn't forgot all about it. So I graduated. I was trying to get jobs, couldn't get a job. That check came in from that. It's the first money I got paid after college. I was like, I guess I'm a journalist, So then I started interning free. I was like, well, then I applied. I was like, well, let me figure it out. I don't want to keep working for free, so let me go to grad school. So I just did that, and yeah, it's just been up
on the way. So you got some published works out there.
I got some published works. Yeah, check the East Bay Express. I got some published works out there. That's correct.
All right. So what took you to the podcast world then? Like how'd that happen? Was that out the garage podcasting, and then you're like, you know what?
Nah, you know what happened was I started listening to podcasts in college, man, but just comedy ones. I just thought they were funny. I was like, this is interesting, but not thinking anything of it. You know what I mean? And then when I went to grad school, when I couldn't get a job, but I started getting those checks. I started writing a little bit. I was just like, well, let me figure out how to get into this industry. So I just cold emailed like a bunch of people. I looked at like TV shows and radio shows I liked. I just cold emailed a bunch of people. The only person I heard back from was Tavis Smiley's producer. Tavis Smiley used to have a show on PBS and PRI on the radio, and he just like was like owned all his stuff and would license it out to these different places, and had a studio here in Lamert. And so I heard back from them, so they brought me on to and showed me the ropes, started teaching me stuff. And so when I went to grad school, I was like, that radio thing's kind of cool. Like I actually kind of like that. And so the radio advisor at my grad school, he was cool. He did a show with Dan Aykroyd, and I was like, that's kind of cool. So I just started learning from him. And then when I graduated, I got a job through him with NPR down here in Culver City. So I started doing that, and I was doing that for a few years. And then I got hit up by someone, a friend who was like, hey, Malcolm Gladwell is starting this music show with Rick Rubin. I know you're a music guy, and you know how the audio world. Like, you interested in working on it? I was like, yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? And so that was it, man. Met Malcolm, met Rick, and
same time. You guys went to dinner. LA's a very like meet you at lunch type of business meeting place. No, man. I met Malcolm in Santa Monica. And I'll never forget. I don't think I'm mind me sharing this, but I'll never forget. It's my first time meeting Malcolm. I love Malcolm. I read all the books, all that. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, wow, that's cool. It's Malcolm Gladwell. And then some guy rides by on a bike. It's like, yo, Malcolm. But when Malcolm goes up, I don't really know who it is. Malcolm goes, oh, that's Brian Grazer, who's like, big time Hollywood producer, man. Like Brian Grazer's touched everything. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, it was the most LA moment. A true LA moment. Like, I'm from LA. But I ain't never really had a lunch like that. We was kicking it. Malcolm Gladwell. And then, there's Brian Grazer. He's stopping by to say hi. And you know what I mean? It was wild, man. And then another time I met him, actually, I met him at a coffee shop. We were supposed to meet at a certain time, and he was just wrapping up a meeting with Mav Carter. I was like, what? Like, this is right when LeBron had gone, what is my world right now? What is the world? I go, what is, so that was kind of wild. But yeah, but at that time, there'd have been those fires in Malibu in 2018,
like fall 2018. So Rick Rubin's house had burned down, so he was out in Hawaii. So then I just caught a flight out. I'd never been to Hawaii, caught a flight out to Hawaii. We rolled around in a pickup for a couple of days, talking about music, talking about podcasting, talking about life, and yeah, that was it. We were off to the races.
Yeah, like, all right, it's all us three. We ride.
That's it, man. So
what's so the broken records? What's the podcast focusing on?
Yeah, we do long form conversations with musicians and people related to music. So like even like we've had like executives on before, but like basically if you touch music and you're part of music, like we're a space to have like long form, passionate conversations about music. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're so
music's intertwined with life. I mean, if you eat good food, you're probably going to be like, dang, this place got some fire music. Or judge a place by its ambience and be like, hey man, like food was good, but like the music was terrible.
Think about that. Like that really, like people, like restaurants, like really top tier restaurants where the food's hitting. Like they pay to make sure that they got the right people to curate the music even.
Right.
They know, like it's like that's all a sensory thing, man. So food and music really do go together. And like even for me, like my wife will know, like if I'm cooking and I don't have music on, she'll just turn it on because I'll mess the food up if I'm not. Like I have to have music on when I'm cooking. Like if I don't, like you can't get in a rhythm. You know what I mean? Like cooking's a rrhythm thing. Like right. You gotta, like you could sit there and follow a recipe, like chop this, do this, 5 minutes this, 5 minutes that, but really you cooking when you just in a rhythm. Like you can just. It's like it's a flow state, like so you just know, like all right, do this now, bring that in, onions done, throw the pork on, like
absolutely.
So especially if you don't do, especially like the last 2 years I've done like our entire Thanksgiving, plus like
the entire Thanksgiving,
the entire traditional, plus the last year I made gumbo too. So I really had to be like
chicken sausage, or we talking about like seafood?
No, I didn't do seafood just because we had some amateurs at the you know what I mean? So I couldn't, okay. I know I had to make it like friendly
for everybody,
for everyone. But so we just did like some andouille sausage and all that. And yeah, it was good, man. And turkey instead of chicken. Yeah.
Right. And meanwhile, you just got like, the Isley Brothers play in the background.
Got to, dog. You got to. Because if you can just throw on, like, I have a playlist especially for cooking Thanksgiving. So, that could, who knows? That could take. I might start the day before, so I don't want to hear the same song twice. So it's long, man. So I just throw something on and I'm off, man. That's it. I love cooking. I love food. It's definitely intertwined. Definitely intertwined.
I'll say, are you Malcolm and Rick like on the same mindset of what good music is, or do you guys have different views on?
Everyone's got different taste, like everyone in the world has different tastes. Like for me, man, I love R&B.
Yeah,
I didn't always, but like I grew up in a house that really appreciated like singers. You know what I mean?
Vocalists.
Was that
vocalists?
Yeah. And I don't know if I had an appreciation for that when I was young. I think I liked it, but I didn't think much about it. But we had hip hop. Like so, I was checking for rappers. I was checking for that kind of thing. But as I've gotten older, man, we just had Smokey Robinson on the podcast, and it was like you sitting there, you're looking at Smokey Robinson, you're like, that's a vocalist, that's a singer.
He can still croon to this day.
Got an amazing voice. He's 85, 86, and he's still out on tour, killing it,
shimmy shaking,
killing it.
I think I said I was like 2 or 3 years ago. He was out there trying to dance. Still. I said, look at him.
Come on, man.
Okay, say Smokey. Yeah, is there anybody you've ever been starstruck by while mid interview?
We just had Will Smith on, and that I was definitely starstruck.
Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince. I mean, definitely starstruck, man. That was he really has movie star energy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So like I've met famous people, and that's cool. Don't really trip off that, but when you get around someone who has movie star energy, you feel that, and you just kind of like aura, and it's like, oh, like it's not like you're just like, okay, this is a different kind of person. You know what I mean? Like they operate at another level, and I was just very conscious that, okay, like I have an aura of a kind, but you get around Will, you're like, okay, that's
peak.
How do I tap into this?
Okay, I see what he's bringing to the table. Okay.
Yeah, you sitting there, you're just like, wow. You know what I mean? Like this is I don't even know. It's crazy, So that was pretty wild to experience, But that'd be like one of the only times I was really like starstruck like that. But but yeah, man, been fortunate to meet a lot of people, and they always say don't meet your heroes, but everyone I've come across is always like cool, amazing.
Yeah.
The other person I met one time that had that same aura was Prince, man. Same thing, like you just like, yo, like, you know what I mean? And he was short,
Right.
you know, I was towering. He had heels on. I was like towering over him, but you just like, it didn't matter, bro. Like none of the rules of normal life. Like it was just like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like he just had that.
I'll say, I feel like everybody that talks about Prince says that same thing. Like it's almost like he like floats in instead of like walking in. I'm like, what? What? I was like, clearly I've never met a peak aura. You know, like
I'm telling you, and I don't know if it was too like some of it. I think must have been. You know, I try to think about
the mysticism that is Prince.
Yeah, and some of that I think probably is constructed by so. Because I try to think about this experience in hindsight. Like when I met him, before I actually got to shake his hand, I saw a door open up, and purple light came out the room, and then he came out. I go, what? I go, that was Prince. And I think back to that, I go, no one even believes me. I go, I swear to you, like a purple light came out. And I'm like a rational guy. You know, I study philosophy. I'm a rational guy. Like, I don't like, so I try to think back to that. I'm like, he must change the lights where he goes. So if he, like, I'm going to be here, like, he must have someone come change, you know what I mean? Because he probably thought about things in that way, in some way helped create that mystique. But there was still, even just meeting him, like mano a mano, like there was something innate in him too that was like, all right, he's the man. Like that's the man. Like it don't matter you 5 foot nothing. You the man. Like you the man.
That guy.
And it also too, there was like about 5-6 girls just going crazy, like just screaming. Like it was just like, you're like, man, this dude's another.
Not too many artists can like invoke that type of emotions. It was like, you know, that was the era. That was the era for it.
That was the era for it, man.
You know, Prince, Michael Jackson. I mean,
they knew how to live, dog. That was like, I mean, imagine being a star. Imagine imagine being one of the most famous people in the world in the mid 80s.
Right. It was so many of them too. It was like, you know, like even Eddie Murphy for a second broke into the music world. Yeah, Mick Jagger. You know, like there was
Bon Jovi. They're doing everything. To your point, right? They're doing everything. They're acting. We're gonna go over here we're gonna do some music. We're gonna do some modeling. Like, just did everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, but bring tears out of people. You know, like. Just impressive. Luther, big and little, you know.
Big and little.
But all right. How do you feel about, you know, taking it over as the main host of the podcast?
You know, it's surreal. It's big shoes to fill, but you know, I'm just a music fan, man. So like to me, I my whole life, like I've loved every kind of music, all eras, all everything, and so I'm just I love talking to people. I'm naturally curious. I love talking to like, you know, like everyone's interesting to me. Yeah. But I really love music, and so just the idea that I could just get to sit there and talk with people who, you know, I really respect, and I know, you know, I know like every detail of like their background, and it's just like you get to kind of nerd out with them for an hour or two. Like it's unbelievable. Like, you know, you just sitting there with Will, and you're going through your mind like this song, that song, this movie, that movie. And then I'm sitting there, I'm realizing like when I'm preparing for it, like, you know, Men in Black, huge movie, huge single or huge song, but was never a single.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there, you're thinking like, I was asking him about that. I go, you were so famous and so big that you could put a song out, not even put it out as a single, like where you're doing the normal promotional, and it would still chart. Like it would still be like the biggest song on the planet. Like that's like, and then I was looking back too, and he had never really done any press really, like as a rapper, as a musician, as a guy in music. Like all his stuff, and it was like geared towards like film and TV.
Right.
But he
probably minus Summertime, you know.
Minus, I couldn't even really find anything in that era.
Really?
Like he didn't do like after seems like after he got on the Fresh Prince, like he didn't do much press as a rapper or anything. So you're like, that was just a nut. So to be able to sit there and really get kind of his story as a rapper, you know, whatever you think about him as a rapper, you know, like there's been plenty of people, oh, he's corny, he's this, he's that, but there's really good stuff out of his catalog. And he had really big hits, so he's fascinated me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So to get his story like that was amazing. So, yeah, it's like big shoes to fill. You know, I'm no Rick Rubin, I'm no Malcolm Gladwell, but I love music, man, and I have a lot of respect for it from guys like that to you know like young cats like who don't have much of a following even. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I love all music. I love everything. So I'm always out trying to hear stuff and watch music. You know, go see some shows.
Do you ever feel like it's too much pressure? Like, do you ever feel pressure from it all? Like now you the main guy. Like it was a lot easier for me hosting podcasts when it's me and Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
You know, when it's duo, if you out there tangoing, you can rip off each other. Now it's just you.
Yeah.
Not a voice.
Yeah. But that's part of growth. That's growth, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, is it pressure? Yeah, but it's like everything is pressure, man. That's like everything's pressure. Everything is hard. Nothing's easy. You know what I mean? Like I'm not one of those people where like everything just came easy. Like I had to work for everything, you know. And
Yeah,
so,
you had a wilderness year.
that's right.
I just want to know what happened to this wilderness year. But it's
Can't speak on that, bro.
Yeah,
Can't
you know,
speak on that, bro.
it's probably why you refer
Need a lawyer present. You know what I'm saying?
You refer to your career as a bunch of happy accidents.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's sort of what it alludes to.
That's true, man. I mean, there is so much of. I was even talking to someone just on Friday who I was just getting their advice on some different investments and things because, like, I'm starting to think about that now. Because
now you want to talk about investments? Friday where the stock market crashes?
Well, yeah, because I'm like, I got some money and this thing's crashing. I finally got some money. This thing's going down. Like, where can I put some money? Like, we're like,
and I was down.
Yeah, I got lucky because I haven't really been thinking about investments most of my life, so I have I'm a cash guy right now. So
hey, the perfect time.
I'm good.
Okay.
So now I'm like, what can I put what can I get into? But and I was talking to this guy who's been pretty successful in the market. He's like, so much of it is. He was saying like, so much of it is luck. And it's like that is a common ingredient in everyone's story. You could work hard. You could be really talented. You could work hard and be really talented. But luck is such a. Whatever luck is, I've never even really sat to think about what it is. Like, what is luck in our lives and in the world, how that operates. But like, there's definitely an element of luck in everything, and bad luck too, like and misfortune and all that, right? But like,
we all have friends, and you're like, bro, this could have been him, or I could have been like him, or I could have been down bad like him. And just one turn or one incident, whatever it is, could have easily flipped my life in a completely different direction.
Yeah. You think about that, that's scary too. So that's why I try to just operate off goodwill and good energy, keep the vibration high.
Keep the vibration
keep that luck
high.
rolling.
Yeah.
Try to, as long as I can,
Facts. I mean, we only got one life. Let it be a good life.
That's it.
I'm here to be a blessing to others, and hopefully they'll be a blessing to me. All right, let's transition to the finals question. I'm gonna give you my top 5 hip hop artist list.
Oh shoot! You got that you got that?
And like, I just want to give it to you, and then like you tell me how you feel about it. And it's mine, by the way.
Okay, and you grew up.
It's very.
You grew up Arizona.
Yeah, very biased. Very biased. And I went to college in the Bay.
Went to college in the Bay.
You're
a West Coast guy.
West Coast guy. So,
okay.
I'm also 89 baby. So I grew up coming up through here. So for me, top 5, number 1, because I can listen to him all day, every day of my life, is going to be Lil Wayne. Best rapper alive.
That's great.
Because I grew up in that Dat Piff, the mixtape Wayne.
Same.
You can't bring me a better artist than mixtape Wayne. He was dropping a mixtape every 3 to 4 weeks.
And making the songs better. Making the songs better.
I can't feel my face. I was like, how do you remix this? Oh, it was unreal to see what he was. I was looking forward to somebody dropping music. Swag Surf. Listen to Lil Wayne Swag Surf and tell me you don't feel differently. Like I was looking forward, what Wayne about to do.
Yeah, man. And then by the time too, like after he blew up off the mixtapes, and he's putting out stuff like I was in the car with my wife the other day, and Lollipop came on, and I was just like, man, if you were when this song came on when you were out.
No doubt.
Like, come on, man.
Wow.
That was like, come on. I love Wayne.
Yeah. Big energy guy. So my following 2 are big energy guys. DMX.
Love.
And Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
It's my sleeper pick. Nobody really agrees with, but I'm like Busta. Woo-ha! Like it was just from the time when he was a part of a group until the time he was solo. Like he was. Like I say, if you listen to that, his discography is crazy. I said don't just take Busta because there's better lyricists. I'm saying, but that energy involved brought me in.
Busta Rhymes is incredible. He's not on my top 5, but honestly, you're a man of taste.
Look,
You're a man of taste.
yeah, so and then I sort of fight myself, like, do I go Common or do I go Andre 3000? And I'm like, Common Sense was my guy.
Damn.
Common, we started focusing on the actor part. And
Yeah.
So I'm gonna round that out and just throw them in there. Just I'm gonna throw Andre 3000 in there because
As number 4.
yeah.
Andre
3000 as a feature artist, there's nobody cleaner you want on your feature.
It's unbelievable.
He comes in with like what I would dedicate a whole song to him. No, but if he's a feature artist, there's no cleaner person as a feature artist.
Hey, I'll take him. Yeah, solo, feature,
yeah, group,
Outkast,
absolutely.
whatever,
Please let him be Outkast. Just do it for me. And then
so Common ain't gonna make your 5. Common ain't gonna.
No, he's not gonna make 5. It was between them two because on the back end I have E40 because I just can't not. Yeah, just. Like it's 40 water. Like
40's incredible. 40's incredible.
No doubt. Like he was out there dropping double albums.
Yeah.
And like you can always go like Ludacris or Juvie and their honorable mentions.
Ludacris is underrated these days.
Man,
crazy to think because he was huge
when
he was popular. He was huge.
You don't know me like that.
He's underrated. He's great. But E40, man. I love you. I love 40, man. I love Mac Dre too.
Oh,
the Bay in general kind of doesn't get the love it should. I think,
man. That's just my top 5 for my playlist. Like I'm thinking in my mind, I'm not going to go like, oh man, they can go bar for whoever. Like, sure they could, but if I'm in a playlist, these are my top 5.
I'll say though, like I feel like Wayne probably could go bar for like even like people gonna look at me crazy.
He's an out league. Everybody
people gonna go crazy. Like, but when there was that moment this year or late last year, like when it was like. Are Wayne and Kendrick? Is there gonna be some beef here? Like, are they gonna about to battle? I was like,
I got excited.
Everyone was telling me like, oh, like Wayne don't want. I go,
Wayne's Mr. Off Top. Like,
there's a chance. Like, there's a chance Wayne got this. Like, I know he's a little older now, but there's just like, it's a chance Wayne got this.
Yeah, I was like, man, you lucky you didn't catch Wayne in his prime.
Yeah,
it's like because Wayne was out here ripping off the top of his dome. Hey, Wayne, what do you write? I don't write. It's coming out with fire, so you don't write.
That's right,
man. But I appreciate you at least respecting my hip artist.
Let me say though, you gotta put Pac on that list, dog. Come on.
Woo! Now that's a hot topic for me because I took a class at Cal about Tupac.
Did you?
Shakur. Yeah, absolutely. Now his mom, I got nothing but respect for. And now Tupac, I just don't.
Respect for Tupac? You took a whole class on Tupac.
Absolutely.
You don't got respect for Tupac.
And
you like DMX. And you don't like
and I'll
Tupac?
tell you why. It's because we claim him as a West Coaster, and he's really a Baltimore cat.
Well, he's an everything guy.
He's Chris Brown.
He's New York.
He's Virginia, and he's in LA.
Look, Pac, born like Harlem.
Right, really a New Yorker to Baltimore, and then
the Bay Area
to LA, and then beefing with somebody from New York. Your origin point.
But that's why he got. Look, man, he's universal though. That's why he's universal.
Went to a fine art school in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's range.
He's in my mind. He's really a dancer. So I can never take him serious.
He was a dancer.
I can't take you serious.
So was like think about like Big Daddy Kane.
Drake could be in my top 5.
He had dancers, he had them like hip hop used to be that. Like you used to be able to dance.
And that's why LL Cool J will never be in my top because he was really he was a lover. He was a lover boy. Like
LL Cool J.
Facts. And I love Mama Knock You Out. I said just not in my top 5. Because there's chinks in the armor.
Might really be like someone asked him recently, like, and he said, "I'm the GOAT," and everyone got. I was like, "There's a world where LL Cool J really has an argument. Like
Facts.
LL Cool J has one of the first great hip hop albums in radio. Shout out Rick Rubin, produced by Rick Rubin.
Mm-hmm.
Radio. Then you think about he switched and that's early that
he produced
Jam. Then you move to going back to Cali, right? He goes out here with the Dust Brothers out here in LA. I think it was the Dust Brothers that did that. Yeah, out here in LA. Then then he gets. I mean, dude,
absolutely.
He has so many different eras,
buckets. But in my mind, I'm like, I still see him as like
Method Man in the 90s, right. And then
Method, my guy, METHOD, man. Oh, that's really my guy too. Dang, I forgot about. I'm sorry, great. Method. Like you can replace Luda with Method, like that. Dang. But yeah, like I got a whole when people be like, man, West Coast Tupac. I'm like, we don't say it about come on, Chris Brown's not from the West Coast. Don't do that to him.
Man.
I said, send him back to the East Coast. It was really East Coast versus East Coast. It was a whole battle.
I ain't speaking on that.
Yeah,
I ain't saying nothing about that. It's all love to all of them. Man.
I for sure.
Pac's the guy. Pac, come on, man. Come on.
Background dancer. In my mind, he was like MC Hammer. Somewhere in there, he can't touch this. He was out there dancing, and I'm never going to put him in my top 5 for that reason.
I mean,
can't do it.
Background dancer to drop in Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me. Come on, dog. Like,
right.
Like, no, but that, like, you don't see the range in that? 2, acting. Like,
I'm not here for the range.
Think about the man lived to 25 years old. A year of that's in jail.
No doubt.
So 24 years old. How many albums? How many movies?
That's the crazy. It's impressive. And yet, my perception is everything. That's why it's my list. I'm like, no, I get it. I'm like, you have every right to feel that way. It's like
send him back to Arizona.
Yeah,
get him out of LA.
Biggie versus maybe that's it. I'm really just a Southwest kid.
Get him out of LA.
I was born in Minnesota, so I have no rights as well. I claim Southwest. Oh man, but I appreciate you joining the pod, bro.
Hey,
it's been amazing here off the edge. When I tell you, this has been one of my more fun interviews. Justin Richmond. You guys tap into his podcast if you haven't already. Broken Records. Thank you for listening. Tune in to Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app, wherever you get your podcasts. God bless. And I'm gonna stand on 10 toes about how I feel.
You just say you don't respect Tupac. They don't stand 10 toes on nothing.
No, as part of my top 5.